So in this video, we're going to take an in-depth look at how we use pass by reference and when we're using functions that have reference parameters by walking through code. Okay, so we've set up our main, which invokes our swap function, which has two parameters that are both passed by reference. So the first thing we do when we're walking through our code, we start a main, we define a space for main, and then we go to the first line and we say, okay, we're declaring two variables, Q and B. We're also immediately initializing those variables to 5 and 7. So then our next line of code says, okay, output this for us. So we say output to the screen, 5 space 7, and an end line. Then we go and invoke our function swap. All right. So when we invoke a function, it gets its own space for its variables. All right. Swap has two parameters, and they're both passed by reference. So let's define space for those. Since they're passed by reference, they don't actually get values. They refer back to the variable that was passed. So our first argument is Q, which means our first parameter, A, is a reference to Q. So we can put Q in here to remind us that it's a reference to Q. And we can also point back towards Q. Right? Same goes with B. B is a reference parameter to the second argument. So the second argument is the variable B from main. And so B will be a reference to main's B. Right? So sometimes we leave out the arrows. If we can keep track with just the names, sometimes the arrows make it easier. It's all dependent on how much you can keep track of. To start with, I would say use the arrows and the names and then choose whichever you need from there. Okay, so we've called swap. We've initiated its space. So now we're on its first line, int temp equals A. So we need a temp, and it is assigned the value of A. So we look at A in swap, and A says, oh, I'm actually a reference to the variable Q. So we go back over here, and we say, what's your value? 5. Okay, so 5 is assigned into temp. Then we move on to the next line, and we say B is assigned into A. So inside swap, B refers to this green B, and it is a reference to the variable B inside main. So to get the value, we have to look at the actual variable. We go back to 7, and we say 7 is assigned into A. What does A refer to? A refers to the variable Q. So 7 is assigned into Q. Then we go to the next line and we say temp is assigned into B. 5. Right? So temp is a variable inside swap. Its value is 5. Is assigned into B, which is here. But this points back over here. So we can say 5 is assigned into here. And then our function ends. So the space referring to all the variables gets destroyed. And we move on to the next line of code because we don't return anything we don't have anything else to do on the swap invoke line. So the next line says, okay, output Q, then B with a space in between them, and we get 7, then 5.